Students, welcome back to the live edition of Masterclass right here on the Masters of Wrestling. It is going to be a doozy today because we've got a lot to unpack. I am the Master Emir, along with one of my tag team partners on this channel, ladies and gentlemen, the Fixer, Martin Stone.
And how are you, my good man?
I'm doing fantastic. But our special guest today, Luke Williams, the Bushwhacker, WWE Hall of Famer. As you know, Martin, he just called us right now. He's having some health complications that literally just came up right now. So I want to make sure that you send a prayer for Luke Williams, okay? Because something just happened right now. I was just on the phone with him, viewers. So make sure you send your prayers for Luke Williams. We hope that he'll be better and come on with us. But hey, Luke's been through it. He's been around quite a bit. So we're just praying for him. But nonetheless, the show will go on as it always does here on the Masters of Wrestling. So, Martin, a lot of stuff has happened this week in the world of professional wrestling. A lot has been, as it always does, and a lot has been swirling around WrestleMania in Las Vegas. We cannot get away from talking about it because some of the reportings that have been coming out, again, the highest grossing WrestleMania of all time.
I'm not surprised.
I wonder why, right?
They're charging $50,000 a ticket.
Right.
I'm not surprised. You could have half that building filled and it would still be the highest grossing WrestleMania of all time.
But Martin, how misleading is this? Because, if you just say something in the media, right? Yep. They can take it. They put a spin on it. We've seen it so many times before. Someone said this, they grab that, but they take it completely out of context and blow it up. So how misleading? What do you think? Do you think the fans are going to buy it this time?
Some are still going to go because it's WrestleMania, but at the end of the day, the real true fan isn't going to go, oh, this must be the highest grossest one. Unfortunately, because of Unreal and how they think that that's a good idea, they've literally shown all of their cards on the table. So every fan knows how that company works now. So for good and bad. Yeah. So I don't think the real true wrestling fan is going to believe it. So.
Well, speaking about showing their cards, that's exactly what they're doing in that big movie style poster they have there with my Uncle Paul front and center. They got Brock Lesnar. They're at the crap tables. Yep. There's Roman Reigns. So they're showing you their cards right there. It's all about playing with money, ballers.
I just hate the fact it's in Vegas again. It's it's not our call. It's not our choice. Who knows if it was their choice? This could be a TKO thing of no, let's do it in Vegas again. So.
Well, of course, because money talks. Yep. Money talks. Las Vegas shelled out the money. So WWE went like this to New Orleans and all the New Orleans fans. They went like this to them. They basically just told them, get stuffed. We don't give a crap. And they went back chasing the money. But now it's come back to bite them in the ass because another bad look that they have in Vegas now is they've got that blackout. So no sports bar or anybody. Yeah.
That's insane. So basically, which I kind of don't understand because I'm sure the bars and stuff would subscribe to ESPN for that one night.
They're gonna get major fines. Man.
I guess they got to get. I guess they need to scrape their pockets because they're short a few quid.
Yep.
So.
Well, you know why? This is all again with our dear buddy Maven. When I was doing the cafe a few weeks ago, we were talking about the fact that they're overinflating their books right now because that's what a company does before they dump it, before they sell it.
Get rid of it. Yep.
So they're putting all these high prices. People are saying Nick Khan's out of touch, WWE's out of touch. Well, I think they understand. They're not out of touch. They do live in our They know what they're doing, students. They are overinflating to make their bottom line look stronger. So when they sell it, when they dump it, rather, to Saudi Arabia, they'll pay premium for it. They'll give them more money. That's business.
And who knows? You could think about it this way. Who knows if NXT is going to go with it? So if they drop developmental, which they may well do, who knows? That's a huge amount of money saved.
Yeah. Well, I would dump NXT. I mean, quite honestly, I mean, look at it now. It's not where it was when you were there.
No.
It wasn't the thriving company that it was. It's been reduced now to kind of like a joke, like a little playpen for TNA rejects.
I'm hoping that with the new focus now on actually bringing wrestlers in, funny that a wrestling company looking for wrestlers.
Yeah.
I think that can only be a good thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But again, it's going to take a while to build that up, you know?
Yeah, it's going to take a while to pull all this back because you're talking about years and years. You know, our dear friend Rico Constantino, the stylist, my co-star over on Styling right here on the Masters of Wrestling, you know, he's been telling me before, it's like when someone starts to diet. If you've been bulking up and eating for the past, I don't know, 2-3 years, you can't expect to lean out in 3 months. It's going to take you maybe 6 to a year to see the results you're looking for because it takes longer to undo what you've already done. So it's the same thing. WWE have been doing this, stiffing the fans, dare I say. I mean, we know some of them have been stiffed, Martin, if you know what I mean. But you know, which is another topic we'll get into later on. We'll deliberate on that. But, coming back to Mania, more controversy surrounding it. People are saying we hope to God that Cody Rhodes is not in the main event again, because if he is, I mean, that's becoming stale, my man.
See, it's really hard because they haven't built anybody else up.
Right.
And again, this is the problem. It's, you've got a stacked roster, but when you've not really, you know, out of all the baby faces they have, who could fill Cody's spot?
Right.
Like you could say Punk, but can you really? Like it's not
the corporate man.
New, it's not fresh. They've not built anybody else up. Yeah. So unfortunately, because of that, they've had to keep Cody there, and that's why everyone's bored. It's not Cody's fault. There's only so much he can do. There's only so much talent can do with the creative they're given, but it's, you know, it's.
Yeah, no, I hear you. One of our viewers here asked if we have a wrestling school. Well, in fact, Martin and I have we've talked about that in the past. It's definitely something that's on the horizon for the two of us, and I think there needs to be, you know, a wrestling school, you know, to the degree that what you and I are talking about. You know, first things first. Who are you? Let's find out your characteristics, your traits, your motivations. Let's learn who you are. Let's put a character on you before we do anything else, because that will determine how you move, what moves you do, how you react. It will all, like I said, there's a reason they call us the Masters of Wrestling students, and there's a reason you're all here as well. Your intellects are off the charts. That's why you're with us right here on the channel. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe right now. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you want to join in with the conversation, load up a super chat. Bring in your questions. We want to hear what you've got to say. We want to hear your opinions, your thoughts, and we want your questions as well. Or join and become a channel member for just the price of a cup of coffee. It's $4.99 a month. Hit that join button. You'll see it right there at the bottom of right underneath the video, and you will get a free question on every single live stream answered. You'll get a shout out, and you'll have access to our members only videos. Martin, we're going to be shooting a members only video tomorrow. Another hot tamale of a topic where we are uncensored and unfiltered. There you will hear exactly what we think. I mean, I know you already know what we think here, but if you really want to know what we think, go over to our members only. Our members only section. But in terms of Cody, you and I talked off camera about Logan Paul. Now, I had misgivings about Mr. Former Disney, Mr. YouTuber. I had misgivings about him in the past. Of course, on a personal level, I don't really like him because of, you know, the Ponzi scheme that he was involved with, potentially ripping people off for $2.5 million with that Pokemon card. But again, Rico and I talk about this. Separate the professional from the personal. Get rid of it. Like I said, this isn't a sounding board for your personal opinions in wrestling. This is a business. You're a character. His character, Martin, is, as you said, exceeding expectations. And in fact, you tell our students what you think about Logan Paul and why he's
for
doing
me
so well.
Right now. I think he's, again, when they posted he posted a clip or whatever it was, and he was mic'd up, and I was listening and watching a non-wrestler get wrestling more than a lot of people on that roster.
Yeah,
he is a heel through and through, and he gets a reaction.
Yeah,
and then today he was posting stuff about how he borrows from superstar Billy Graham and takes bits and pieces from a lot of different people, puts it all together, throws it at the wall, and sees what sticks.
Yeah,
that's what you do as a wrestler. That is exactly what you do. So, for my liking, I would like to see him on a singles run, not in the Vision, but with Paul Heyman. If they actually did that and actually let him go and, let him kind of be a little bit unfiltered and let him push the envelope a little bit more, you could easily, believably see him as world champion. And I don't think that would be a bad thing at all.
I don't think it's a bad thing either with the current landscape of WWE. He's got the right height. He's got the right look. He's got the right attitude. More importantly, he's showing signs that he actually cares about the business. I mean, How many guys today, Martin, if you went up to them, think about this for a second here. Some of these gymnasts, which we'll get into gymnast ricochet later, but these gymnasts, these acrobats, these Cirque du Soleil performers, right? These guys who think that pro wrestling is an Olympic sport. These guys, if you went up to these little punks and said, do you know who superstar Billy Graham is? What's the percentage you reckon would know who that man is?
15 to 20, maybe.
I agree. About 15 or 20%, no more. And again, how do you become a pro, Martin? You know where you come from, who you are, and where you're going. That's it.
Yep.
And a lot of these guys haven't got a clue where they came from. They don't know who they are. They think they know where they're going.
Yeah,
that sums up the majority of these young wrestlers. But yeah, I agree with you. I think that Logan Paul should branch. The Vision is just holding him down. I mean, it's holding down Braun Breaker. I mean, that is literally breaking him. In my opinion, he could be like Scott Steiner. He's exceeded beyond his father. He's beyond Rick Steiner. He's Scotty status right there. He is like Scott. He's more like Scott than he is Rick.
Yeah, for sure. I just, unfortunately, unless that machine is behind him, I don't think there's anything there. And that's not to take away from him at all. Yeah. It's the same with a lot of guys that, will profess to say they're the greatest, professional wrestler alive and blah, blah, blah. And then the minute they're not there and they try and start their own company and no one cares.
Yeah.
So, there are some people that need the machine behind them. Yeah. I do think Braun Breaker is one of them. Mm-hmm. Logan Paul will get over anywhere he goes.
Yeah. And it's interesting because, again, Logan Paul, I know the man who trained him out here in Southern California. I've been trained by the man as well. Logan Paul has done this in a relatively short span of time, which, again, is one of the things that I've been professing for a long time. You know this, Martin.
Yep.
Either you get it or you don't. You're an entertainer or you're not.
Yep. That's
it. Any monkey can be trained to do whatever. Okay. Yeah. But the reality is, do you know how to entertain the crowd? Do you know how to talk? And do you know who you are? This man knows all three, and he's done exceedingly well at it. And like I said, I was not hot on the idea before because I thought, like everybody else, he didn't, bust his chops and he didn't do this and this and that. But at the end of the day, if you got it, you got it. It's like the Ultimate Warrior. Came in like a whirlwind, shot to the stars because he got it.
Yep.
That's it.
Again, WWE have made a point of not being concerned about people if they haven't done anything in the past. So if that's their formula, then why not? And I just think he gets more and more comfortable because he's so much more. I don't know. Just he changes each time. If I see him on one one PLE, he's completely different the one after that because he's obviously so much more comfortable in the ring now. So now he's not so much being concerned about the matches, and now he's like, okay, how do I, and now he's I mean, he's awesome. He is. I mean,
yeah,
he is. He's awesome. I've always been a fan of Logan Paul. For someone to come in like he did, and yeah, again, his matches, I'm sure he had a lot of time to prepare, but let's not beat around the bush. There's a lot of matches on NXT takeovers where the performers had 3 months to put that together. So when anyone says, "Well, he had so long to put," yep, they do that with everyone.
Wow, yeah.
So I'm a huge fan, and again, for him to say that he's looking to the stars that came before to take stuff and use stuff and see what he can make of it, that's exactly what you should do as a performer.
Yeah, that's
exactly it. And again, because it's from so long ago, people aren't going to know it nowadays. So it's fresh, it's new.
Yep, that's the markings of a true champion in the making right there. So again, maybe he's the one last hope left for WWE. I mean, many people thought it was this Obi-Wan Kenobi. I mean, he did help in Star Wars. He helped Princess Leia, but I don't think he's going to help here. Speaking of old Obi-Wan Kenobi, and the reason I bring him up is because I'll take us back in time, a trip down memory lane, as it were. Well, actually, a trip across the Sahara Desert. Let's go back to the Royal Rumble right now. And the man who came out and debuted the same time as him, the man who has now lost the keys to his Rolls Royce. I'm talking about Powerhouse Hobbs, who will be affectionately known more than that, I think, than he ever will Royce Keys. So he lied about his age. That came out in the press a few weeks ago. I think he said he was 35. He's actually 41. So he's actually in his prime. I don't know why he would lie about that, but that's by the by. Okay? He's in his prime right now. This is the time to be hired. So he comes to the Royal Rumble, then he disappears. He's seen backstage, and then you said now he appeared on an episode of what WWE show?
It's the show that airs before Raw, main event. I do actually have a theory about the age thing.
Okay.
I don't think he was trying to lie about his age. I have a feeling they were telling him to keep it quiet, and it came out. Because there is no way would they not know.
Well, obviously,
no way would they not know.
Well,
the fact he's still there, I see that as more of a fact that they were like, "Hey, let's not let your age get out because we're telling everyone that 40 is too old."
Yeah,
that's what I think it was.
Well, I tell you, it was probably having a conniption fit backstage when all this broke. Probably that little twerp Gabe Skopolsky. The man who likes to hire underage children.
He's not wearing kick pads.
He's not wearing kick pads, and he's not underage. I wonder about that, actually, Martin. He keeps scouting these skinny little college boys. You notice that? Actually, he keeps sifting out these little college boys. Yeah, interesting. We heard about deviants in WWE. We know that Johnny Ace was one of them. And then Becky Lynch dropped that bombshell. There's another sexual predator backstage. Yeah. Hey, you never know.
With Mr. Regal at the helm, though, I've no doubt that he'll be looking for people that look like they can fight and look like main eventers. That's always been his thing, and that's always been his MO. So I've no doubt that you're not going to see that many guys that are undersized on Mr. Regal's watch.
I'm going to text my Uncle Paul. I'm going to text him because honestly, the more I think about that little twerp, Gabe Sapolsky, the more I think he should be fired. He should be canned. He should have been canned a long time ago. You could shove him in a freaking Coke can and just kick him down the damn street. But
he was let go and then they brought him back. So
apparently not a lot of people like that little punk. So
not many people do. I've not met that many people that like him. So
I don't know why they keep him around. Honestly, is it tax write-off? Is it just somebody to pick on? Probably someone to make fun of backstage. I don't know. But nonetheless, anyway. But yeah, that is my Uncle Paul to one of the members there in the channel. If you got a question, if you wanted to bring it up on the screen,
bring up that super chat, lads and lasses. Come on.
You got to hit that super chat. It fuels and it ignites the rocket ship that is the Masters of Wrestling. So make sure you do that. No, that's my uncle, my man. So,
Yep,
you know,
1000%.
yes, but thank you for that. Yeah, and then the ticket prices, as you know, one of our dear loyal fans here has brought up here, 25%.
What's for WrestleMania? Oh, so I saw the thing, and I didn't know if it was for Mania. Yeah. So they're boasting that it's the largest gate ever, but they're doing discounts because it's not going to be full.
Right. Yeah. They're doing discounts because they're desperate. Perfect. Right? And they're doing blackouts. They, you know, it ceases to amaze the idiocy of people who are supposed to be the most intellectual and the most intelligent in marketing, but yet they fumble at the most simple of things. Discount, but yet it's the greatest gate. But then again, we do have some of these media outlets to blame for this.
That doesn't help. Yeah.
You know, like that. What was that? What's that group? The one I can't stand. That's organized by a bunch of marks. What are they called? Fight Full of Crap?
Oh, Fightful, yeah.
Yeah, Fight Full of Crap. They've been making the news again today with MJF. They were talking to him. And I guess he's been putting out things saying he could have made it in American football. Highly unlikely. I mean, you know, highly. Now, again, you and I talked off camera. I understand in terms of wrestling, he's got a good shtick, right? Personally, I don't respect the man at all. Professionally, I respect up until a point, since he got too vulgar with the fans, started hitting fans, which is a legal action in the making, waiting to happen. But, you know, but he was saying that he could have made it in American football. I mean, that's hot air. You can't make it in American football. He's 5'4". Come on.
That's only because you tower over everyone because you're 6'3". He's definitely not 5'4".
He is 5'4". You seen the lifts in his boots?
He is not.
You seen the lift? He has lifts this big. No, actually about this big, Martin, in his boots. So, yes. But yes, I see in the comment there, Fight Full of Crap. Exactly. You know, wrestling fans, you've got to, yeah. Well, if Google can say what it wants, my man. But at the end of the day, blood is blood. And like I said, that's okay, Google. Yeah, Google's a mountain of misinformation.
Yeah, I'm going to say right now, don't believe everything you read on the internet, because if you go on Wikipedia, it's actually listed as the wrong place that trained me. So
yeah, exactly. Everything from Fight Full of Crap to the Dave Meltzer. I mean, Dave Meltzer again, but he spews a different kind of BS. But I fear that we're getting off topic here because I want to kind of condense it again to WrestleMania. So again, maybe then instead of having Cody Rhodes in the main event picture, maybe they need to bring in Logan Paul. Maybe they need to give him that push, and maybe that would help the ratings. Maybe that would help them sell tickets.
Yeah, it's. I mean, if the fans are pushing back, that's not good.
No,
that's not good at all, and that's nothing against Cody because I think Cody is fantastic.
Yeah,
but again, if he's handcuffed by creative, so there's only so much he can do with what he's given.
Yeah, that's
before
true.
It's and again, he made Stardust work, so it's not as though he can't take something and make it good. So it's definitely not him, but just so what is the WrestleMania main event? Is it Cody and?
I guess at this point, all I've heard is I was going to say it's the corporate man against Finn Balor, which doesn't make sense. That's the Elimination Chamber, though. So maybe we should go to Elimination Chamber first because that's the precursor. Even though I forgot Elimination Chamber existed.
I saw a flyer for it today, and I was like, "Oh wow, I completely forgot about Elimination Chamber,"
which was previously No Way Out in February, which was a much better. Yes, indeed. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Make sure you slam it right now.
Hit the subscribe button, yep.
Also, hit that hype button. You need to hit that hype button. That'll push us out into the algorithm. You need to tell your friends to come on over here right now and join us here on the Masters of Wrestling. Where were we going with this? We were talking about Elimination
Chamber, Finn Balor and Punk.
Right. So they're building up this new match, Finn Balor against the corporate man. But a few weeks ago, Finn Balor lost clean to the corporate man on Monday Night Raw. So again, what's the point? Do we really need to see this?
See, it's a tough situation there because obviously I'm assuming the Judgment Day are heels still. obviously.
I didn't even know they were still a thing.
Yeah, I'd imagine that's the case, obviously, because obviously corporate man Phil is a baby face.
Yeah.
So I don't know how you can come back from him losing cleanly in his hometown to Punk a few weeks ago. I guess we're going to find out. I would absolutely love for Finn to beat Punk.
Yeah.
Just to change it up for WrestleMania, because then it'd be a shock. But let's see.
Be interesting. We got a super chat here. One of our
Thank you
channel
so much.
members has stepped out of the shadows and into the spotlight. That's why he's on the screen with us. Mike Blaisley. Save WWF and WWE library before it's too late. Indeed, Mike. I think this as well. I honestly think
anywhere.
No, but here's the thing, Martin. There are certain videos, certain albums that have gone. They've vanished. You can't find them anywhere. Like on Netflix in the United States, they don't have all the pay-per-views there. Peacock doesn't have them anymore. Where are they? The WWE Vault doesn't have them anymore. So unless you got a DVD player or you've burned it onto a hard drive or something, where is WrestleMania 7? Where is WrestleMania 12? I don't have access to them anymore. My DVDs are long gone. But where do you find them?
So they're not all on there.
No, they are not. So where does one find them, pray tell?
Wow, that sucks.
Imagine
there has to be a legal reason for that. There's got to be something. Yeah.
I would say honestly, Mike Blaisley, thank you for bringing that up for us, Blakesley. You're right. Again, people go out there, find these old DVDs. In fact, I was going to order WrestleMania 6 the other day on DVD. I'm gonna put in an order for it because I want at least the first 12 WrestleManias. After that, I don't really. WrestleMania 13 was okay. 14 was fine. By the time 15 kicked around, the last one I thought was great was WrestleMania 18 with The Rock and Hogan.
Yeah,
that's it. So as long as I got my collection from like maybe Royal Rumble 88 through to 97, I'm good. But yeah, go back in time, people. Get your hands on those copies before they are gone forever. Because you know what? At the end of the day, think about it. The WWE Watch Along Vault on YouTube, they can put what they want for you to watch. They're in control, not you.
Yeah, unless they're saving stuff for that. That's the only thing I can think of. But that's weird to take certain WrestleManias off.
Yeah,
sure. So I don't know if there's a performer on there that they're not hot on anymore and they're pulling it because of that. I don't know.
Well, that's another thing too. Remember,
out of interest, is all of Bret Hart's matches on there?
What do you mean all of his matches? Like all of his WrestleMania?
Yeah, because if they've taken like...
No, I mean, you can't find Survivor Series 97. I have not seen that. Not on the Vault and not on Netflix. It's not on there. Yeah.
Interesting. So maybe it's because of what Brett's come out and said. Maybe they're slowly just trying to pull stuff that's Bret Hart related.
Yeah, well, remember too that Jim Johnson's tracks, some of the tracks have vanished. Remember now Rick Rude's original theme?
Yeah.
They replaced that. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat's theme was changed on the videos. So, Red Fox has corrected me. Now, he may just have corrected me. I'm going to bring him on the screen because he is a channel member and he is a co-star. He says WrestleMania 6 is on the WWE Vault. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. But nonetheless, I'm going to get my hands on it, Red Fox. I want a physical copy of it. But is WrestleMania 7 on the WWE Vault, Red Fox? Again, if you're a channel member, we bring you up on the screen. That's the privilege that you get, and you can ask a question and we'll bring you up on the screen. If not, we will not be bringing you up on the screen. That's just the rules of the live stream business, as it were. But yeah, I mean, I say definitely get your hands on them before they're gone because that's history right there. Yeah. And they can rewrite history real fast if you don't have history to show. Right? So switching gears, I want to talk about Ricochet for a moment because this, as you know, this is something I've been saying. Heck, I've been telling them that they're part of the Cirque du Soleil and gymnasts for well over a year. I've been doing it in the Indies. I've been doing it wherever I can. But the other day, Jim Cornette put out a video talking about Ricochet. And he was asked, do you think he's a good wrestler? I'll say that again. Wrestler. He said he's good at handstands, backflips. Okay, so hold on. So, and then Stevie Richards, our dear friend Stevie Richards, commented it on as well. And I heard Stevie actually say Cirque du Soleil. Thank you, Stevie. Thank you, Stevie. I don't know if you heard me say it or we're just psychically intertwined. Our genius minds are working together. But yeah, Cirque du Soleil. So Ricochet, if you watch his work, he's not really a good wrestler, Martin. He's a good gymnast. He's not a good wrestler. He can't tell a good story. He's too fast. He doesn't understand how to sell properly. Have you ever had the displeasure of working with the man?
I've never worked him, been on a lot of shows with him. You got to remember as well, he really cut his teeth in Japan, and it was for Dragon Gate. Now,
Okay.
Dragon Gate's entire wrestling style is exactly what he does.
But
so
you know what?
I'm going to play devil's advocate a little bit there, and just say that when you're in that promotion and it's a 15-minute sprint, you've got to adapt to what that particular crowd want, and that's what Dragon Gate became known for. Do I think he should change his style and make it different? It's always great to put a fresh coat of paint on something.
I was going to say, Martin, is he working in Japan right now?
Well, you got to remember, AEW books more for wrestling than it does in terms of storylines.
Okay.
So his shtick works.
Because
Again, he always gets a reaction. He always gets a reaction.
Yes, a reaction from the gymnast contingent. But are we in Japan?
No, sir, we're not.
We're not. So there you go. Case closed. He needs to change. He needs to change. He needs to change. He needs to get his act on track. But we do have a question here from, again, a channel member who renewed, I guess, his membership. YouTube screwed up. Thank you for telling us that. Gosh, we could be losing channel members and would not even know it if they screw up. I have a question. Who would headline your Hall of Fame class this year, and who would you include? Okay, that's a very good question. That's very good question. So, Martin, let's start at the top. Let's start at the tippy top, the top of the mountain, Space Mountain, that is. Who would be your ultimate? Who would be the headliner for you in the Hall of Fame?
All the guys that I grew up watching and loving, they're all in. So it's
Demolition are not there.
No, they're not. Yeah, that's right. They're not, are they?
Marty Jannetty's not in it.
I mean, that's not going to happen anytime soon, is it?
It should, considering he was supposedly Sean's best friend.
Well,
he helped Sean get in the business because without him, he wouldn't have had a tag team and he wouldn't be in the WWF.
Damn. Who would go in?
Vince McMahon.
He's going to go in anyway, regardless.
Shane O'Mac. Is Shane in it?
You know who I'd like to see going it this year?
Who?
Sid
Vicious, Sid Justice.
Yeah.
Very good call. Very good.
Yeah, that would be the best one I would say to for him to go in there. That should be who should headline it.
Okay, you know who else I'd like to see in there? My dear buddy, the man who's been deserving of it for years, the man who was ahead of his time, one of my co-stars over on Power and Glory, Mr. Paul Roma. Yep, Paul Roma for sure. And Hercules, Power and Glory need to be in there.
Definitely put Power and Glory in there.
Are the Legion of Doom, are the Road Warriors in the Hall of Fame?
Well, I mean, I may not be able to put them in there now, considering one of them is
they're both
John Laurinaitis' brother.
Yeah.
So that might be something that's going to stop that from happening, which is, again, that is the biggest travesty in the world. Because at the end of the day, when you saw the Legion and the Road Warriors walk out covered in face paint and spikes, what kid in the world is not going to go, what's that? I want to watch it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know, so I didn't realize. Okay. So yeah, Sid and Bam Bam, I would say, should be in it this year.
Bam Bam Bigelow for sure. You know, he's another great stellar performer of that era. There's so many in there I can think of. The nasty boys. Come on.
Yeah.
The nasty boys, the warlord, you know, power. I mean, the powers of pain and the barbarian. Haku. Is Haku in the Hall of Fame? I don't believe he is.
That I'm not sure of.
But yet,
he may be. Actually, no, he might be.
I don't know. Viewers, help us out. Help us out.
I love you, Red Fox.
Red Fox, maybe Michelle McCool. I'm going to bring him up on the screen. He is a channel member here, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe Michelle McCool can be put in again for Lay Cool. Wow. Red's been showing me some of his humor right here, but I'm going to bring it out of him over on the Ultimate Truth podcast. So watch out, Red Fox, because I'm seeing your humor here. I'm going to bring that out of you over on the Ultimate Truth. But yeah, no, it's a tough call. But again, the Hall of Fame, man, I think the problem with the Hall of Fame is that it's been watered down because for too many years people were expecting, like I said, the Demolitions, even my other dear buddy, Jim Powers. My gosh, do you understand how good of a performer Jim Powers was and everything he put into his physique, the time he trained and everything else? Yeah. They just, you know why they pulled the plug on Jim Powers, right?
What's that? No, I don't.
He was propositioned for homosexual activity because they were trying to say, if you do this, then we'll give you a push. That's why Jim, when he turned them down, if you notice, which never made sense to me,
it just disappeared.
They made him enhancement talent, which was the stupidest thing. He was in Survivor Series, the first one. He was in the second Survivor Series. He was in pay-per-views. So anyway, I'm going to get pissed off if I continue talking about this. We got another super chat, another man who is Darth Derp. Darth Derp, what a name. And what a little emoji, a little face, little picture right there. In my opinion, yes, the one-man gang. Indeed. Akeem, the African Dream. Demolition, Bam Bam Bigelow, Midnight Express. Indeed, yes. Sweet Stan Lane. And what was it? Stan Lane and Bobby Eaton?
And Bobby Eaton, yeah.
Yep, should go in the Hall of Fame. Love the show. Well, thank you so much, Darth Derp, for loving the show. I hope that you've hit that subscribe button. And thank you for giving us a super chat here. That greatly helps. I see other comments coming in. Other people are talking about Chris Jericho. Well, that's just an inevitability. I think over time, Chris will go into the Hall of Fame.
Oh, well, I mean, you know what? That could be this year because aren't they teasing something on Raw with like a mystery box that can't be opened up until like a couple of weeks or a couple of days before Mania?
Wait a minute. Didn't they do this years back with Mr. McCool when Brother Love stepped out of a box on SmackDown and gave him a gift? I'm talking about The Undertaker. I'm talking about me, Mark.
Yeah. Okay. When did they first do it?
He stepped out of a box, remember? And it was Brother Love. It was old Tricky Dicky Bruce Pritchard was in a box. And he stepped out to The Undertaker. This is when The Undertaker
basically. Right. Yeah.
When he lost his mind and started wearing those ridiculous snakeskin pants with a wife beater shirt for a pay-per-view. Do you remember that? Do you remember that Survivor Series where he wore green snakeskin pants? The most ridiculous attire for The Undertaker. But the problem with the Hall of Fame is you got guys like Pete Rose in there. You got weird entrants. Well, Donald Trump's in the WWE Hall of Fame. Everyone forgets about that.
Isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He also took a stunner off Steve Austin.
He did take a stunner off Steve Austin. But I think Vince McMahon's an inevitability. And again, if they do deny putting Vince in there, they're just denying the obvious. You know,
they can't deny putting Vince in there.
Someone else said Sonny too. Well, sadly, and I would have tendency to agree with that because now we talked about this. In fact, I'm endeavoring to bring Sonny on the air live with us. Now, you may be asking, Martin, how I'm going to do this. But as you know, I've got connections to the correctional facility out there in Florida, in your neck of the woods. And they are allowed inmates are allowed to do interviews, and they are allowed to do a certain time on media. So in the coming weeks, students, you might want to hit that subscribe button because we've been talking about it, and I'm trying to arrange it for each and every one of you. We may actually have Sonny right here on the podcast. Yeah. So I've been organizing that with our other tag team partner, the man himself, the Bodacious Suave, who will be coming back on Thursday. The man has been cleared. His chemo reaction is gone. His blood is it's healthy again. He's been told he can go back to the gym on Thursday. So, but just so you know, Bodacious Suave, I'm going to be lifting more. Now that I know you're going back to the gym, I'm going to lift even more. So even as you try and come back up, as you come back up to your original state, I'm going to keep going even harder, my man.
I bet he outlifts you in 2 weeks.
This is not going to happen, Martin. It's not going to happen. Not the level of weights I was lifting last night, my man, which I'll be lifting after this podcast too, my man. So I had to actually calm myself down because I was going out of control last night with the poundage. But hey, it's just by the by. But yeah, Sonny, let's go back to Sonny for a little bit. I love this is what happens, viewers, students. This is a community affair here. So as you comment, as you give us your super chats, you fuel this conversation and you bring up topics to us that we may not necessarily have thought about. So it makes it more of a community thing here. So keep doing that. Sonny, let's go back to her and the reason why I think she was such a good performer in the WWE. Because number one, she knew how to react. She knew how to tell a story with her expressions, with her movements, everything else. She knew how to talk. And she knew who her character was. And she knew very quick because at the time when she came in, she was what, 27?
I think so, yeah. She was super young.
With Chris Candido. Yeah.
But again, she'd had all that time in East. Was her run with Candido in ECW, was that before or after?
No, I think they only did a short stint because they can't have been doing it that long. Think about it. They came into the WWE in 1995. So ECW had barely started in 93?
That must have been after, yeah.
It was after they went to ECW because then they went to WCW and then they went, but then they were already having, both of them were already having the drug problems at that time, which was, again, that messes with the best of them. Once they get hooked on drugs, the mind is never the same again. So again, students out there, just say no to drugs, stay away from drugs, any kind of hallucinogenic, anything that messes with that mind, stay the hell away from it. Because again, these people that do it, I mean, I've seen people, Martin, who used to be addicted to drugs.
Yeah.
And even if they get clean, they're never the same.
Yeah, never the same.
You can't talk to them the same anymore. Their brain doesn't fire the same. So it's sad, but nonetheless, I do believe, yes, she was in the Hall of Fame. What are we talking about? She was in the Hall of Fame. They did put Sonny in the Hall of Fame.
Has she already gone in?
Yeah, she went in there a few years back. That just jogged my memory. She's been in there.
Huh.
Yeah. So that's, at least, hey, you know what? Well, there you go. There's one.
Yeah, I mean, it's sad how she's declined.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, she's probably not going to, unfortunately, her cell might be the last thing she sees, which is very, very sad. But it's,
it's very, very sad,
It's the repercussion you pay for what happened, but
yeah. But that's the sad thing. That's again why we're going to use this as a public service announcement now. Just say no to drugs. Don't freak anything that messes with your mind and makes you think differently, because you could do something like, I'm sure she grieves what she did. I'm certain of it. I don't think she was a sociopath going into this. All right. I'm pretty sure she's grieving it.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, is one mistake, one moment of not, and that goes for drinking too, students, as well. You think you're in your control? You're not. One slip, one false move, you could be paying for it for 20 years. And again, again, don't paint the person with that exact paintbrush and say, oh, no, they did. No. If they're a sociopath, if they're a psycho and they do things like this and enjoy it and they have a track record, sure, by all means. But if it's a mistake like that, again, I just think that we should be more aware of how drugs and substances mess with the mind and corrupt somebody that at the core is probably still there's still a decent person in there
Yeah.
somewhere. Not like some of these other lunatics that were evil since birth. You know, I'm not
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah.
you know, so yeah, for sure. But someone's asking me, when will you post your testimony? Well, I've been talking about this, Martin, because they're talking about my testimony, my faith in our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Yeshua. So I'm going to do a solo video on that, where I'm going to talk about how Christ came into my life at an opportune time. This was when I was training in UPW with Rick Bassman. So at that time, that's when I found my Lord and Savior and my salvation. But I'll be doing that on a separate video. So thank you for reminding me on that one. I greatly appreciate that. What other things have you heard about lately before I go into some other topics? Is there anything that's
well, I mean, funny enough, I did see something today that someone sent me. It's not wrestling related, but it's Netflix related, and this very much ties into what our dear friend of the channel, Bin Haman, said.
Okay.
So Netflix are running a MMA show, and the headlining fight is Ronda Rousey and Gina Carano.
Oh, Ronda's going back to she's going into the MMA. Wasn't she in UFC before?
Yeah. So, but she's coming out of retirement and she's fighting. Now, it's interesting that it's on Netflix, because obviously Netflix delve into the world of boxing as well, which now you've got MMA, boxing, pro wrestling, and they're starting to experiment with other live sports as well. So maybe it's not just pro wrestling that Saudi are looking to buy. Maybe they're looking to buy Netflix, as Ben so rightly said.
I agree with Ben. I mean,
I found that very interesting today. I was like, wow, okay.
Well, we know that Ben is a man who worked in that industry. He worked in consulting for major television networks and whatnot. He's a brilliant mind. So if anyone's going as an authority on that, I'd say it was him. But when he did tell us that, I would agree with that. And now you know that Santos, the Netflix executive, he was in front of the Senate, and Ted Cruz slammed him the other week because they were trying to say, hey, if you're trying to create a monopoly that's going to push agendas, we're not having that. The U.S. is going to stop that immediately. But, I mean, obviously, I think it will go through eventually with sanctions. But if Saudi buys it, the gloves are off. They can do what they want, because then it's owned overseas, and there's no way that they can stop the American advertisers from wanting to pay millions of dollars to advertise on their programs. So it will be stuck with us here in the U.S. It is a very scary, in fact, it's a terrifying thing that could possibly occur, because it's like we said, at first it's going to be subtle. You won't see any differences. Saudi owns Netflix, same show. But then you'll see over time, give it a month, give it 6 months, give it a year, you'll start to see alternative programming and suggestive programming and different things and narratives that they're trying to push and force feed onto you. Yeah, it's going to be a very terrifying thing indeed. And just like the wrestling news and everything else themselves. Red Fox says, I hope Sunny is remorseful. She had a lot of karma to burn through. Well, again, my man, we hope so too. We hope she is remorseful. Again, a lot of that was drug induced. And, again, like I said, those drugs can do horrible things to a person's brain. And, they're not in their right state of mind. I've seen some people who, like I said, you've seen them too, Martin. So that's the thing there. But in terms of ratings for past wrestling for the past few weeks, we've seen a little bit of a bump, Martin.
Okay.
They've gone up a little bit. Do you think this will be consistent, or do you think this is just because of WrestleMania?
It's probably just for WrestleMania. But again, it's kind of always been like that. Because obviously after WrestleMania, it's a big reset. So then it used to drop a little bit. Whether or not it's going to be, I mean, again, we won't know until after WrestleMania, but I mean, years ago, WrestleMania was the final point, and then new storylines would start, but that doesn't happen now. So,
do you think, I just had a thought. As you said, that's the final reset or something like that.
Yeah.
Do you think that we'll see perhaps the Tooth Fairy return at WrestleMania this year? Do you think he'll whisk in on a cloud and maybe sprinkle some fairy dust over somebody?
No. Next year, definitely, yeah.
Well, yeah, because next year wrestling's going to Saudi once again. Yep. The mania in Arabia, in Arabia, as that man said on the stage.
I don't know that it would be weird because there's been no build up at all for The Rock to come back. There's been no inkling. There's been nothing. Just
we got super chat right here, Martin.
Oh, excellent.
This is what I like. Thank you so much. Look at this. Look at this super chat.
Thank you.
Traffic Jam. Look at this. Do you read that, Martin?
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate that, my man.
Amir and Martin are the true masters of wrestling. Thank you so much, Traffic Jam. I really appreciate that. Yeah, that's, we're flattered by that comment. Yeah. And we do endeavor, Martin and I are passionate about this business. I've loved this business since I was, again, I use Roddy Piper's expression, knee high to a grasshopper. Okay. And I know, Martin, you've been involved in this way over half of your life.
Yep.
And we just want to see professional wrestling go back to the glory that it once held in your hearts, in your minds. We want to see it create memories like it did for us when we were growing up. When we saw that revolutionary wave of pro wrestling slap the United Kingdom in the early 90s, it took over entirely. It took over our pop culture. It outdid soccer, dare I say, Martin, for a period of time.
Football, come on.
Yeah, well, hey, we're in America right now, Martin.
I don't care. It's still football. All right?
It is football. It is football. Yes, exactly. It is football. Yes. For those of you who don't know, students, in England, football is where you kick the ball. Football. Yeah. So that's it.
Catch it and run with it.
No,
that's
so
rugby. Yeah,
that is rugby in Australia, right? Or New Zealand, they play that a lot.
Yep.
So, did you ever play rugby, Martin?
Yeah, played rugby. I was a prop.
Brutal game, man. No shoulder pads and no helmets.
No padding, no helmets. That's just what I affectionately call American football, futuristic rugby.
Yeah. So, yeah. Well, I see another comment here about ESPN. ESPN is not happy with the TKO WWE deal. We know this because Freddie Prinze Jr. came out. Oh, no. Yeah, Freddie Prinze was the one who leaked that information.
I can't be happy with it.
They're not happy with it. Not at all. And,
as a business deal, there is no way that they've been happy with that. If they are, then they're lying.
Yeah. No,
it's they've literally not returned on their investment. No way have they returned on their investment.
Well, don't you remember my Aunt Stephanie? She came out on her podcast and she actually said that you could buy one of those hacking devices to go and watch it.
Get your VPN servers out. Yeah, it's a joke.
I think I might have had credit in that. I think I may have texted.
Here's my thing, though. This is what I don't understand. So a big corporation like ESPN, why don't you just give them a little bit of money? Not, we're going to give you the whole lot up front.
Yeah.
And then that's it. We're locked in. Surely, you give them a little bit. Hey, let's see where we are with numbers and da-da-da-da-da. But
exactly, yeah. You never know. We got another super chat come in here from Juan Lennon's Funhouse 2633. What match captivated you most as a young fan? Martin, I'm going to let you get that one first.
Captivated me as a young fan.
Thank you for the super chat.
Yeah, thank you so much. I think my fondest memory as a kid, I remember WrestleMania 5, Hogan and Macho Man. I remember watching that and just, I couldn't believe the mega powers were doing this. I couldn't believe they were doing this to me, Yeah. So as a really young fan, there was that. And I've obviously spoke about glimpses to the match that got me into wrestling, where I actually wanted to step between the ropes and have a really good crack at this was Chris Benoit versus Eddie Guerrero on Monday Night Raw when the Radicals split.
So that's going back to 2000. What a contrast from 89 to 2000, the two matches that captivated you the most. For me, again, I've said it before, it was Ultimate Warrior and Hulk Hogan, the two monoliths colliding at WrestleMania 6, one of the greatest builds to a WrestleMania pay-per-view in the history of WrestleManias, because at the time, the Warrior had captivated the audience over what Hogan had built for the previous 5 WrestleManias.
Yep.
And it was just an incredible, the Sky Dome. So it was that. But then the one that really made me like you, Martin, there was a sequel to what made me really decide to want to do this when I was older or be involved in the industry, was the following year at WrestleMania 7. Once again, the Ultimate Warrior against the Macho Man in the retirement match. And again, because I am more of an entertainer theatrics guy. So when I saw the story unfold and the Warrior's asking God, what do I do to put this man away? And he's about to give up and leave. And the presentation of that match, the build again to it, it really stole the show over Slaughter and Hogan. I mean, it was, and I remember
it was longer as well. I think that was the longest match he'd ever had.
It was a long match, but they put it, sadly, somewhere middle of the card.
Yeah,
I remember it was middle of the card.
Very weird placing, but I guess that was down to politics and brother can't go on before me. So
yeah, I'm sure that had something to do with it.
Because realistically, that should have been the co-main event.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's a retirement match. It's Macho Man.
It was thrown in the middle. It was, I think it was like match 4 or 5. It was thrown right in the middle.
It was weird, dude, because then I remember right after that, you'd have a match like Earthquake against Greg Valentine.
It was it was a very, very weird placing. So
yeah, the Ants podcast is What's Your Story? You know that one, Martin.
Yep.
We have not been asked to go on there yet, but, one day
either,
we probably won't be, because of the things I said. But nonetheless, I will be on a podcast this Friday. I've been invited over to another podcast. They want to do an interview with me. So again, I'll post that. Yeah, I was reached out to the other day. I will post the information on that in the posts section of the YouTube channel. Later today or tomorrow to let you know where you can go and see that. And I'll probably will be sharing some of my testimony on there, in fact, and talking about my younger years and, my experiences with Uncle Paul and, the English aristocracy. So we'll be doing all that, which you and I know very well, don't we, Martin?
Very much so.
Aristocracy, yes, indeed. But there's just so much going on in wrestling right now. It's like, it's incredible. The push pull. You've got people saying that this is great. People are saying this is bad. This is great. This is bad. The bottom line is we need to get it to be just great across the board. I think that's the key right now. And the main issue I see is again not giving the fans what they want, and that's. And again, love him, hate him. We disagree with his personal life entirely, Vince McMahon. But on a professional level, when Vince had his team with, again, one of the greatest minds in pro wrestling of all time, Vince Russo, and then Pat Patterson, Gerald Briscoe, even Sergeant Slaughter, some of these men that were there, their mind for the business, that's what we need to get back. That's what makes wrestling great again. But I don't know. AEW seems to have gotten a little bump in the ratings. I actually heard that I think they bumped up 100,000, about 100,000 in the ratings, Martin. They went from 500,000 to 649. But you know why, Martin?
Why is that?
Because of Tommaso Ciampa. That's why.
Yeah.
When he jumped ship. So I did see a little post that Mr. Khan put out. You wouldn't even believe this if I told you, Martin. You know what I saw?
Go on, then. I hadn't seen it, so I don't know.
It was a picture of him. His dad was patting him on the head, and he had a cookie and a glass of milk. and there was a wrestling ring with some action figures in front
That's
of it.
got to be a
And it's-
meme. Someone's
said-
made that.
And he
you know.
said, and his dad was saying, "Well done." Yeah, well done.
See, I can't hate on Tony Khan at all because at the end of the day,
I'm not. I'm just saying.
Yes,
I'm
you
not.
are. He is. He's trying for whatever you know. For he's. There's a lot wrong with all wrestling right now.
Yeah.
You know, and just unfortunately, when the industry leader is just taking a dump on everyone in terms of, we don't care, you're going to like this. We don't care, you're going to pay that. Just it flattens everything. And, you know, for the fact that he's there, he's trying. I've got a lot of friends there that are working there. So, you know, it's another platform. So for me, I am all for that place, like getting better each and every week. So,
yeah, I mean, I'm not saying anything to the contrary. I'm just saying, literally, he got rewarded with a glass of milk and a cookie. That's what I'm saying. I mean, what else? What else? Viewers, do you think I'm making fun, or do you think I'm just, saying good job, well done? You got 100,000 extra viewers, but it's going to take a lot more than 100,000 to get things back on track.
It is. How's TNA doing? Have they picked up or bumped up or anything?
Last I heard, they did 240,000 views. They went up slightly. But again, it's WrestleMania season. They are the company that's being babysat by WWE right now.
You think they'd be doing better, really?
Right, realistically. And if WWE were not holding their hand or pushing them along in their push chair, what do they call them in the States? They call them a pram in England. What do they call them here? The baby chairs? What do they call them? Strollers. So instead of pushing TNA along in their strollers and babysitting them, if TNA were not in that stroller, I think it'd be a totally different story, my man.
Completely. Yeah. If I'm completely, I'll be 100% brutally honest. If it wasn't for the Fed, they would not have this deal with AMC. No way.
Not a chance. Not a chance. Of course, Matthew Hardy thinks they can be the number 2 company.
A lot of people say that, and I mean they could, but I just they ran one good show that did really well, and then everyone's like, oh, it's the number 2 company, and I'm like, and then they're trying to compare it to the ECW arena, and I'm like, well, the ECW arena is a small arena. It's not, you can't compare those 2 buildings.
The thing is like we just got another a comment come in right here, and I wanted to touch on this because we talk about this before. We've covered this many times, in fact, but you can't never cover it enough. The problem is no big megastars, and we've talked about this. You cannot, and again, it baffles my mind. It's to the point where sometimes students, I know you, Martin, I'm sure, same thing. We switch off and we scratch our heads and think, I don't want anything to do with this anymore because it's utterly ridiculous. Like the notion that these supposedly intelligent people who sit around in a writer's room thinking all day, scratching their heads, they have all the money in the world, people. So it's not like they got stresses of like, how the hell am I going to pay the light bill? They got all the money in the world, and this is the best that they can come up with. It defies logic.
Well, I don't think you are going to get a big megastar again because they don't want anyone being bigger than the company. They want to be able to sell you a package presentation of this is WWE, not, tonight we have Rock versus Austin, or we have Foley versus Mankind, or we have Taker versus Brock. They don't want that. They want to be able to, they don't want anybody being bigger than the company. The last person that could have transcended that would have been Bray Wyatt.
To be honest, this is what I think, Martin. And I think you know where I'm going with this. I think you and I, if given the right platform, if given the right amount of time, could scout the globe and find the superstars of tomorrow. And I know that. We got the prerequisites for it. We know what we're looking for. We know where we can get them. We can shuttle them straight there to that Titan Towers. We can shuttle them straight to Uncle Paul, and we can turn this thing around. You know what I'm talking about, Martin.
I also think as well, when they take new talent and they put them in developmental, for some of them, I just think they end up there for too long and they just get wasted. Like right now, I'm someone that I've had a good rapport with for years has been Ethan Page. Great talker, charismatic. He's got a good look to him. Just throw him up there. What's the worst that happens? It doesn't work, and you can just let him go. It doesn't matter. That I think they keep people down for too long. This just my opinion. I think they hold people down in developmental too long because they're trying to get them ready. And I think by the time they then get there, they're so pre-programmed to only being able to work in front of a small TV and they completely lose themselves.
Well, but like what you just said just really made a lot of sense. How long has the son of one of the greatest performers of the 90s, and I'm talking about the man who flew across the ring, a former Four Horsemen member, Brian Pillman, how long has his son been dwindling in NXT now?
A couple of years, right?
I think it's more than that, my man. I think it's probably 3 or 4. I think
he went. What was it? Was it post? Was it? It was maybe 20. So he was there after I was gone. So maybe like 2022, 23.
Almost 4 years, my man. 4 years. He's 4 years older. He's not getting any younger. Every day he gets older. And he's got all the prerequisites. He's second generation. He had his dad's name. He's got his dad's look. He's uncanny. If you blink a few seconds, you'd think it was Brian Pillman in the ring.
Don't let him use the Pillman name, so no one's going to have that. He comes up as Alexis King, and it's like, well, what's Alexis King?
Well, you know why they did that, right? You know why they did that. They did the same things to the man who lost his keys to his Rolls Royce, the keys to the mansion, because they don't want him getting over the brand he'd already established with Tony Khan's playpen. That's why.
I mean, he wasn't over though in AEW.
Doesn't matter.
He wasn't over.
Doesn't matter. He already built.
It's his real name. It's his real name.
But what I'm saying, he already built 2 or 3 years with that and more on the indies. So what do? You wash the slate clean. You make him cut this promo on his dad, which I thought was bottom of the barrel, because at the end of the day, he didn't even know his dad. Right? His dad was passed away before he even knew what the heck life was. Yeah. But they forced him to cut that promo on his dad, which was kind of like him berating his dad, a guy he never knew, which I thought was stupid. That was their way of crushing the legacy of Brian Pillman. You see how all these little underhanded tactics they do, these stupid things they do to kill off another character?
I mean, from what I've seen, they have just started a second and third generation stable. So I think it's Pillman Jr., I think Santino's daughter, Regal's daughter, and Finley's son.
Santino. Morella, this guy?
Yeah. I think it's his daughter, which I don't know if she can work. I haven't watched her work. But I know you've got Brogan and Bailey. So hopefully that takes off, because I mean, it worked when Orton had Cody and Ted DiBiase Jr. It worked because he brought them up. So hopefully it works.
Yeah, no, I mean, hopefully. I mean, at the end of the day, they have done that quite a few times. They did it with the Hart family dynasty. They've done it time and time again. In fact, wasn't Brian Pillman? No, actually, they did a stupid gimmick in AEW. Wasn't he like a varsity club?
Yeah, he was. And that's what, to that point, it was never like it was, this is Brian Pillman Jr., but it was never alluded to. Like, they didn't do anything with it. He was just part of the varsity club. So they could have just kept his name. It would have been fine.
Yeah.
It would have been fine.
Exactly.
Because then you have Jordan Grace, who goes to NXT, keeps her name. Ethan Page keeps his name.
That lady's on a lot of anabolic steroids. I gotta say, my man. Sheesh.
Oh, she's not now. She can't
Well,
be now.
she was. I mean, she was. If you saw her facial structure a few years ago when she was kind of just, she was thick. Let me just use the word thick. She was a thick body type. Then all of a sudden, if you look at her face, then her jawline was kind of just like regular female.
Yeah.
And then a few years goes by and she's got huge friggin' jawline like a guy. Her skin's all crisp and thin like a guy. And she's friggin' built to the gills. So I often wondered how she got away with taking that amount of sports enhancing drugs if she's on the roster. I mean, it's obvious she did. I'm not friggin' idiot. I'm looking at it. She did.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I know her husband pretty well, but I don't know her that well. Yeah. Again, I mean, if she was, because I mean, she did. I know she trained for competition because she used to be a powerlifter. That was.
Well, she went from powerlifting to friggin' bodybuilding.
Yeah, because she entered quite a few shows.
Yeah.
I mean, if she was, she can't be on anything now. Just.
Well, hasn't she lost a lot of weight? Looks kind of sickly now. It's gaunt.
I have no idea. I haven't seen her work.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm sure because they do have a. What are we laughing at here? What's going on here?
Red Fox's comment.
Let's have a look here. Red, you're so comical. I'm gonna make him like this on the Ultimate Truth. JNC had a sale that week. They did have a sale, Red Fox. That's why she got jacked. That's it. That's it. That's what they say, JNC, creatine did it all.
Chicken breasts and push-ups. That's the
chicken breast push-ups and 3 hours of cardio a day.
Yep.
That'll do it.
Yep.
I don't know where you find the time to do it, but nonetheless.
Do you remember, just going off topic real quick, do you remember Ultimate Orange, the original pre-workout that was back in the 90s?
No, I do not remember that. I remember a supplement back in the UK called Genesis. Do you remember a Genesis protein powder supplement?
No, Genesis. I don't remember that. No, but
I used to drink that.
Ultimate Orange there's a reason why it was banned pretty much maybe about 6 months after it came out. My God, it was so good. Yeah, it was awesome.
Damn. You know what I don't understand, though? Because like me, I never take a pre-workout. Praise God in the name of Jesus Christ, Yeshua. I don't need it. But at the end of the day, I get concerned, especially when I'm at a show and I'm watching guys backstage and they're taking all kinds of pre-workouts. They're taking creatine pills. They're taking all kinds of shit.
And I can't do pre-workout before a match.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying your heart rate's already through the roof anyway. So you're going to risk dying putting all that shit in your body on top of it. Like, I don't understand. You're already amped. If anything, you need to be working on calming down a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, what about
my caffeine consumption throughout the day is a joke anyway. So,
but no, seriously though, I was going to say in NXT and stuff like that, do they monitor when you're there? Did old HBK come around with a detective's flashlight and ask you guys what you were drinking and all that good stuff?
The medical team there they were so good, and again, the talent's well-being is first and foremost. It always was, routine blood work, just from a health standpoint, just to make sure everything's ticking along nicely and stuff like that. Then obviously down to the blood work you have to do every 6 months for Hep B, Hep C, HIV, and stuff like that. So it was always, always monitored.
They go, so it looks here that your testosterone levels are elevated. Oh, what's this substance in your blood right here? And again, what's this one right here?
Well, I mean,
if you're at the top of the card, looks fine. No problem.
I cannot confirm or deny that. I do know that it was a third-party testing company.
Oh, really?
So they can only present the results. The action would be taken by the office.
I will say this.
All Martin. I can say with that.
I will say this, Martin. I happened to catch an interview And back in the day, I used to like the guy. The more that's come out about him, the less respect I've got for him. Talking about old Michael Hickenbottom. Talking about Shawn Michaels. Let's use his legal name, Hickenbottom. So he was on, I guess it was 1997, and someone asks him about steroids in 97. Now, I remember what Shawn looked like in 97, and I remember the schedule that he was keeping in 97, 300 days a year.
Yeah.
And he said, no, we can't do that anymore because, we get tested sometimes 3 times a week, sometimes twice a week. Sometimes you don't know. It's just coming at you whenever. But I was thinking to myself, I was going back in my mind thinking who was there. And now, Sid Justice was there. Sid Vicious was there in 1997. And he was more jacked then than he ever was in 91. Okay. And I was thinking that has to be the biggest horse shit story I've ever heard in my life. 3 times a week.
Couldn't know because of the roid scandal. That's why it was the new generation. Because obviously everyone, I mean, Sid, if you go back and look, Sid got leaner, which is why he looked massive.
No, look at his traps, Martin. When the first thing that happens when you take any sports enhancement drug, the receptor sites on your traps are fed. The shoulders get bigger. The traps get bigger. So even if he leaned out, he wouldn't have had that trap mass across the back of his neck. His traps were bigger in 96 and 97 than they were in 95. Now, in 95, I could see that he was off everything because he even had a bit of a gut. Like, it wasn't a gut, but he was not tight. He wasn't lean.
It's not as lean, yeah.
But then when you look around him, what's that?
But didn't Sean pop a drug test? I'm sure he pissed hot, and that was why they did the 2 intercontinental titles. Because he went home for a bit, and I'm pretty sure, if I remember rightly, watching the Shawn Michaels documentary that they released, he mentioned in that it came up that he failed a drug test, and he said, "But I don't take steroids." But regardless, he failed the test.
I thought he got beaten up by 9 guys in Syracuse, New York, and he lost his smile and started to cry and went home.
That was before that.
Oh, this is before that? Well, he was definitely on a bunch of drugs at the time. We know that. He's already told us.
Yeah.
So, and there's no doubt he got in bigger and better shape till the end at WrestleMania 14. Well, what's going on here?
Red Fox, that's... Dude, you need to be a stand-up comedian because these are...
Oh, my God. I got to bring this up on the screen right here. This is what he says to us, students. Hey, HBK was drug-free. Didn't you see those training videos with Jose Lothario? He was putting in some sweat equity. You know what, Red Fox? You're absolutely right. I digress. It was Jose Lothario's instruction that got Shawn that strong in 90 and with a 300-day-a-year schedule. I'm sorry.
Well, also to that point as well, you got to remember, so at that point in time, he was traveling around a lot with Nash. And Nash has said so many times he used to try and match him meal for meal and beer for beer. So when you've got someone who's like 7 foot and 300 odd pounds and you're trying to keep up with him food-wise, you are going to put weight on, Yeah. Am I saying it wasn't enhanced? I have no idea. I can't say for sure or anything like that. It was never a conversation I had. We can only take his word for it, which probably isn't that great. But so who knows?
Speaking of Kevin Nash, he made the news this week.
He did. Yeah,
he made the news this week. And I see this guy in the chat here. I think this is actually Matthew himself. He's just trying to rib us right now. He's going under a different handle right here. Hilarious, Matthew. Hilarious. I've already said, the Bodacious Suave is coming back. You know what? He's just ribbing us right now, Martin. This is him. It's too obvious. How many freaking times has he said that?
Way too many posts.
So, there you go. Yeah. It's him. Bodacious Suave will be back on Thursday. It's freaking hilarious. I'm gonna have to get him back. But anyway, Kevin Nash made the headlines. What is this? What's going on now?
Red Fox coming back with another good one.
Your boyhood dream come true. Yes, indeed. I remember when Vince McMahon said that. The boyhood dream has come true.
Yep.
That's it.
Interesting tidbit about that in Bret Hart's book. So when Shawn won the title, he looks at Bret and he says, "Get the F out of the ring. This is my moment."
What?
So after Bret just put him over in that Iron Man match, yep, that was yep.
He said that? Was it audible? Did you hear it?
It's been cut now, I'm sure. But yeah.
Yeesh. Man, if I was Bret, I would have kicked the shit out of him backstage after that. I said, "I dare you, little friggin' twerp," after I just did that. What a dickhead, man.
Yep.
He should have been called Dickhead Bottom. But anyway, nonetheless.
Anyway.
that could have happened, actually. So quite honestly.
Well, I mean, let's be real.
Yeah. But Kevin Nash, nonetheless, made the headlines because he made a comment on a guy. Now, you have experience with this nerd, right? Now, you've told me about him. Now, again, Kevin Nash said he came from a different era. He's 67 years old. He says what he wants to say, period. But who's this guy that he was talking about? Because you've got experience with this guy. What's his name?
Javon Evans. Nice guy. Super nice guy. Sorry, excuse me. Very talented.
Yeah.
And then at least I see him at least once a month because he comes and hangs out at the shows that I work.
Yeah, but he shows up. Now, is he not under contract for WWE?
Yeah, I mean,
he is.
Yeah.
First of all, how the hell did he get a contract for WWE? I mean,
he is good. He is good. I know.
Good at what? Gymnastics?
It's not particularly your cup of tea.
Of course.
But he is good.
Is he good at gymnastics, is what I'm asking.
As I said, it's not particularly your cup of tea.
It's gymnastics.
But he's good.
All right, so he's a gymnast. All right. He's a tight worker. Okay, he's a gymnast. Right. Okay. So anyway, but he throws his weight around these indies, right? He comes to steal shows.
He comes and hangs out and
steal shows, does he?
He doesn't try and steal the show. No, it's not as though he's trying to run through the crowd or everything like that.
Oh, really?
But yeah, he's a nice enough guy. But yeah, just I do find it, unless you're, really tight with someone there that you haven't seen in years, I personally wouldn't do it. So.
Sounds to me, you know what it sounds to me like, Martin? It sounds to me like this guy, Javon is his name?
Yeah.
Javon. Now, when was he signed? When was this dweeb signed to WWE?
If I remember rightly, I think it was I'm trying to think, it must have been like mid 2022 because he was signed the same time as Brogan Finley.
So you're telling me this little twerp has been signed for 4 years and I'm barely hearing about him. 4 years he's been under contract. Yep. And that finally, because Kevin Nash made a statement, he's finally relevant. Is that what you're saying?
I mean,
for 4 years.
Hey, he was on Saturday night's main event. So he had that he was in the tag match with AJ.
So not only is he saddled to the tag division, we've never heard of him for 4 years until now. Okay. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, sheesh. Sounds to me like sounds to me like Nash did him a favor.
Well, according to some of these comments, if what I'm reading is true, then that wouldn't be a bad idea at all.
That wouldn't be a bad idea right there. Kevin Nash wants him to be the next Ron Killings.
Yep.
He's still under contract, that guy. I can't believe it. In fact, he had a segment on SmackDown this past week, I believe, with one of our fellow countrymen. Sad to say that he's one of our countrymen, Nick Aldis, a turncoat by every stretch of the imagination. He definitely threw his red jacket somewhere, and he's donned a new one now, the one of the GM in SmackDown. I digress. And then that other guy, the guy that Bodacious Suave was ranting and raving about, who I saw for the first time in that segment on SmackDown, and I thought, flash in the pan. The guy that wears armbands up to his friggin' shoulders who's that kid with the black hair, the black long hair, that recites poetry or was listening to poetry or something? The Kip something, Kip Sabian, Kip whatever the Kit something, Kit.
Oh, Kit Wilson. Kit Wilson.
All right, Kit Wilson.
Sammy
It's funny
Smooth,
I
yeah.
said Kip Sabian right there. He's another Brit, isn't he? That freaking he's another turncoat. But anyway, nonetheless, so him and they were in a segment, and I guess R-Truth recited a poem, much like the Genius. I think he's stealing
He
from.
stole the spotlight, didn't he?
He did at 55 years of age. So that's what I'm saying.
He is amazing. He is absolutely amazing.
What I'm saying is, again, that's when you understand that a true talent can come in at 55 and show up everyone else and steal the whole scene. That tells you, man, the young ones are not trying hard enough.
Mm-hmm.
Not trying hard enough.
Yeah.
So you reckon that this Evans guy could be? I mean, could he be the next Ricochet, in your opinion, Martin?
I mean, again, it's a different style to Ricochet.
How?
No, it's not. What do you mean, how?
I mean, I thought he was the same. I asked you if he was a gymnast. You said it's not my cup of tea.
Yeah, but
So-
he does do a lot of mat stuff as well. So he does build to his stuff. So time will tell.
What's his gimmick?
He hasn't got one.
Okay, so he's just a guy?
Yeah,
Just a guy called Evans.
just a guy called Javon Evans. Yeah.
Wow. No wonder I haven't heard of him for 4 years until Kevin Nash starts talking about him.
Puts him over.
There you go. So at the end of the day, someone said here Nash is jealous. I highly doubt that. Kevin Nash was part of the New World Order. He was part of the Clique. He was the WWF champion from 94 to 95 for an entire year. He's fought the greats like Bret the Hitman Hart, Shawn Michaels, The Undertaker. I highly doubt, and he has a very successful podcast, I highly doubt that Kevin Nash even gives this guy a second thought other than that one thought he gave him, probably because his co-star probably brought him up to him. That's probably the first time he ever friggin' laid eyes on him. I know I've never heard of the guy until now. So, sorry, Martin, that you've had to deal with this guy.
You're not.
But what's Mike Blaisley saying now? Because he is a channel member. Is he in green? Yep. So let's bring this up right now. I hope you didn't say anything about Bret. Okay, Bret should. Oh no, he didn't.
Bret, yeah.
Bret should have kicked Shawn right in the face when he was on his knees holding the belt after him telling Bret, "Get out of my ring." I heard about that a few good times. Yeah, I would have kicked the shit out of him too.
Yeah, especially when you it's the main event. You're passing the torch, so to speak, and you're doing Shawn a favor.
Yep.
And the business of the match was Shawn was becoming champion, and
Yeah. I can't believe Shawn was such a scoundrel even then, man. Even in 96, early 96, it was already manifesting the train wreck that was coming in 98. Mm-hmm. It was already evident right there. That goes to show you, students out there. Now, again, Shawn looked a lot more mature than most 30-year-olds do today, but he was only 30 at the time. So it goes to show you, putting that much pressure and giving that much responsibility to a guy who was 30 in 1996, not something you should do. Wrestling companies need to take note of that today. Especially now when we live in a world of video game wrestlers.
I mean, the good thing is that at least with the current schedules of most companies, they're not on the road. So the temptation of vices is minimized.
Well, obviously they're not on the damn road because Evans likes to come and parade himself around indie shows and rub it into people's faces that he's got a contract and you don't.
I don't think he's turning up to rub it in people's faces.
Well, I wonder why he's turning up to indie shows, Martin. Let's dig it. Let's give this guy a little bit more publicity. Let's give him 5 minutes of fame, 15 minutes.
5 minutes of fame. Go on,
15 minutes of fame, because after this, no one's going to talk about him anymore. But anyway, 15 minutes of fame. Why would a guy who's under contract for WWE show up at an indie show when there's other guys trying to show their stuff, to put on a good show, break into the business? Why would an asshole like that show up just to steal the attention and put it on himself when he's already got a contract? You tell me, Martin.
I can't. I have
no words.
idea.
No words.
No idea.
I tell you, my man. Someone just reminded us of Woolworths here. Yeah, I remember Woolworth. Sheesh. Gosh. Someone showed up. HBK was meant to. Oh, yes. Speaking of HBK breaking signing engagements, I remember back in the late 97, Sean was supposed to show up in Birmingham to do an autograph signing.
Oh, and showed it.
The day of, he never showed up.
Wow, he no-showed it.
Yep. He no-showed it that very day. I remember that. So he did another one he did, I guess, in 2003. Wow. That is incredible. Yes, Red Fox, Hogan was 30 when he beat the Iron Sheik, but back in 1984, a 30-year-old was very much more mature than a 30-year-old in 96, and then certainly more so than today. I'm not saying everyone. I'm saying there are a lot of mature 30-year-olds out there. We know that, Martin. We've seen them. They got their lives together. No, absolutely. You know, look at this jabroni right here. Look at this guy. Look at this jabroni
I got
here.
off scot-free with that. So.
No, he didn't. He addressed you as another name, and he addressed me as somebody else. This guy. Honestly,
if that is the case, then technically that was my last match before I got fired the first time.
Gosh, man, this guy's lucky he's in the chat and not here with us physically, Martin. I'll tell you that right now. But 30-year-olds today. I mean, some of them, not all of them, but they just don't. I don't know, man. They don't have that life experience that a 30-year-old Hulk Hogan would have had.
Again, you know, the world is such a different place now.
Yep.
So it's, you know, it's going to be a downward trend. That's the way it's going to be.
Well, it's going to be a downward trend for those indie guys if you don't fix that damn problem. The next time that little tightrope walker shows up, you just tell him to get the heck out of there, Martin. You kick him out of that damn building, and you tell him to take his little backpack and go back to WWE. All right? Friggin' trying to steal the thunder there from people, or I'll sick Kevin Nash on him again. Yeah. So I don't know, man. What else we got? So we got Elimination Chamber coming up. AEW, whatever. They got a million pay-per-views. I don't even know which one is coming up or if they change the names every friggin' month. But we got Elimination Chamber coming up. We know that AJ Lee and the Corporate Man have been featured heavily on that. Obviously, some backstage politicking has been going on there. Why else would AJ Lee, the part-timer, and the Corporate Man be featured on the flyer, on the poster? I don't know.
Well, I mean, here's my thing. You can't really call people part-timers because they work once a week.
So she's a quarter-timer.
You can't really just, you know, they don't have that hectic, unless they're going to Europe, they don't have that hectic schedule.
Do you think they should have a hectic schedule, Martin?
I do think they desperately need live events, 1,000%. It's where, you know, you can go out there, you haven't got the pressure of TV, so you haven't got to hit times and make sure that if you're like smack bang in the middle of the show, you know, you haven't got to worry about, you have to hit this time because of the crossover, and if we mess that up, then we're going to lose the sponsors. You know, you don't have to worry about that. You get to go out there and just see what happens and just have fun, bring the crowd in and just get the crowd involved, get the house in. And, so I think that's sorely lacking.
You know what, Red Fox? Sorry, I was distracted by the local comedian right here. He said HBK. You know what? He probably did see me in line, and he did that because he knew that I would go back to Uncle Paul and tell him exactly what he was up to in that establishment. And then they would get back to Vince, and all hell would break loose back then. But brings back good memories. That was a good event, that one night only in 1997 when Sean faced the Bulldog in the main event. Remember that one?
That's right, yeah.
That was some good times, man.
Yeah.
Hem Street, who did give us a super chat at the top of the hour, says the indie guys have short careers during doing monkey high spots. Yep, risk spots. Yep, couldn't agree with you more. You know.
Yeah, there's a big risk to doing some of the stuff that I see. I've never gone anywhere near the top rope. Never will I. You know, it's coming up. It'll be 23 years for me, July this year. And yeah, so
no desire to do so, my man. So, Martin, as we still got about another maybe 20 minutes here, students. Okay. But as we start winding down this episode, let's go back to the top of the hour. Let's talk about WrestleMania a little bit more here. So, in your mind, what, if anything, other than a miracle from God, would make this WrestleMania turn around in terms of the main event or something, or a character popping up or something? Is there anything that would make you go, wow, and want to tune into this event?
I mean, for me, I think it would be something as drastic as Chris Jericho coming back and like beating Cody, and then it being Jericho and Roman, just because for the sheer shock value of it.
Yeah.
You know, it would make it, you know, it's like, whoa, no one saw that coming. Just it needs something like that to really shake it up.
That would be
because
good.
Right now it's just, like something like that. You know, because again, what's that?
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I'll say, like, you know, we're sorry, not Roman and Cody. It's Roman and Punk, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it is. It's Roman and Punk. So whoever Cody's working, like, I think it would just be an absolute shock. Everyone knows he's coming back. You know, that's just unfortunate now with wrestling. There's no surprises. So for him to come out,
thanks to 5-star himself.
It's awful now. Just the internet in general has ruined wrestling, because I just remember, you know, you never knew who was going to come. Like, you know, just it'd be like, oh, boom, they're there. You know, so you know. If he came back for the Elimination Chamber and then just he's in the match and then he wins it and then he ends up like that would be awesome.
I think so.
That I feel would drive ticket sales massively.
And someone here brought up Steve Austin. Put Steve Austin as the special guest referee in that match with Chris Jericho and whoever he faces at WrestleMania.
And then Austin's going to steal the spotlight. So
well. But he has history. But he has history.
Exactly. Yeah,
he has history with Y2J. So
I just think that for me, that would be for me. I would then consider buying the pay-per-view to watch it.
But the funny thing is, as you're saying all this, it's great. I would watch, and
it's not going to happen. So.
But it's not going to happen. But at the same time, we're talking about a 55-year-old wrestler who's been doing it for 40 years that has to come back to save the show.
Yeah.
Right. So
because these guys came up in a time period where there was no ceiling. They got over on their own devices because they were allowed to. Yeah. It was that time period of, oh, well, this is what we're doing with these guys and blah, blah, blah. But then this one, all of a sudden, just crowds start getting behind him and they're like, hang on a minute, we've got something. And then they go with it. Whereas now, if people get over, they don't, oh, that's not on the plan. You know, it's you got to have the finger point to this, you know. You have to have the finger point because then you get over, you know, then you're allowed to get over.
No, but I tell you, if they really wanted to do it, if they really wanted to do WrestleMania justice, here's what I would do. I would change everything this week, like literally next week on Raw. I would definitely have Jericho come in for sure. I'd have him literally decimate that Elimination Chamber and have him win it. I'd start him off as a heel. I'd have him completely go over. I'd have him rip off the little bit of the bubbly. I'd have him do that again in WWE just to take a shot at AEW. I'd have him come in as a total friggin' heel like that. I would have to get Uncle Paul involved and let him play an on-screen character for real. I would have both of them belittle Cody and just trash the shit out of him. and remind him of who he really is, which is Stardust.
I knew that was coming.
so I would do all that, but I would definitely have him go over, and then I would build to that match. I would have Cody against Jericho at Mania, but I would have Jericho destroy Cody, just utterly annihilate him at WrestleMania, kill his friggin' dream, kill everything off, embarrass him, drop the bubbly on him after the match, maybe even take a shot at AEW, maybe get a mock AEW belt, throw it over Cody and step on it. Then that would lead us into post WrestleMania, right? I'm serious. This is how you do TV, my man. Then the next night, that's when all hell would break loose, because I'd rebirth Cody now as a complete friggin' heel. Because at this point, everyone's loving what Chris Jericho is doing, right? And then now Cody would come back out, maybe black hair, black mustache, whatever he is completely. Maybe now he looks like Vince McMahon. In fact, he would. If he had black hair and a black mustache in his suit, he'd look like Vince McMahon. Have him come back out, total heel, like he can't believe how embarrassed he is now. Like Jericho, a 55-year-old, came back and destroyed him, stole his WrestleMania moment. Have him cry about that again. Like, you stole my WrestleMania moment. The crowd are really pissed off at him now. They can't stand this whining moron, right? So now he becomes a super friggin' heel. But Chris Jericho is this like former AEW guy who's now like, he's loved, but he's hated at the same time. You see where I'm going with this, Martin? Mm-hmm. So right there, just in that series, and obviously the rest you can fill in the blanks. I'm not going to – I don't want to have to bill my Uncle Paul millions of dollars for this creative idea. But I would milk the shit out of that. I would let that burn this new direction. But then the focus in WWE would be Jericho and Cody, the feud that began in AEW, now in WWE, but do it in a way where now – but then you incorporate Uncle Paul. Paul's got to be involved in it somehow, because now Paul remembers. I would even use the shit. Remember when Cody,
when he was all pissy and whiny because he wasn't the main event? Yeah,
right. But don't you remember when Cody ripped off my Uncle Paul and he used the sledgehammer to destroy the throne?
Yeah.
So I would align Uncle Paul with Chris Jericho and say Uncle Paul brought him back, right? They buried the hatchet after WrestleMania 8 and 18, and now they bring him back. So all that shit that Cody did, now Uncle Paul's getting revenge on that through his new accomplice, Chris Jericho. That's TV right there. And you crush him. Now you, instead of hitting a friggin' throne chair, you find what's important to Cody, right? Maybe there's a picture of him and his family lineage and him and Dustin and everything else, and Hunter's back there with Chris Jericho backstage, and there's a picture on the wall with the Rhodes family in a frame, and Hunter gives Jericho the sledgehammer. Bam! Smash it. That's TV. That's how I would do it. That's how I do. I'd start a massive rivalry that would reignite Cody Rhodes' career, now as the villain that looks like Vince McMahon. It would put Uncle Paul in the spotlight like he really wants to be, alongside Jericho, and it would give Jericho a reason to be there now, a reason to come back, to do Uncle Paul's bidding. Yeah. And it would take a shot at AEW.
Problem with that, though, you got two heels.
What's that?
The problem with that, though, is that you have two heels.
No, because
if Jericho smashed the picture, that would instantly turn Cody babyface.
No, it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't, Martin. Because remember, Cody is going to come out and whine and complain. He's going to come out with the dark hair and a mustache a week or two after Mania, right? Totally looking forlorn, down on his luck. He's going to complain and whine. All he's got to do is get in the ring and cut a promo and start saying, you know what, guys, for the last couple seriously, for the last couple of years, I've given you my heart and soul. Boo. No, I have. I keep trying, and I keep getting hit down, and and now It's my moment. He starts whining and complaining, right? People are instantly going to be. It doesn't matter if Chris is a heel. He's going to be the badass heel, the Steve Austin heel. But but Cody would be the annoying little shit that doesn't stop whining. People will hate him, Martin. Yeah. So he'll be so Jericho will be the face essentially, but not really. He's like a Steve Austin, a renegade. But Cody will be hated, my man, hated. He'll be so over as a heel, and that's the only way to save his career, other than becoming Stardust again. That's it.
Yeah, I don't think that's on the cards anytime soon, is it?
Yeah. Oh, someone said fight full of crap.
Oh, it must be true then. Yeah.
Have said that Jericho's contract has been frozen. Iconic. Let me tell you a little bit about Fight Full of Crap. There are a bunch of marks that started that company less than 10 years ago. They're on payroll, I think, for AEW. They are a bunch of marks. Don't believe anything of what they say.
Technically, I think Jericho's still on the roster page for AEW, so that might actually be true for once.
One of Tony's people probably forgot to take it off. Honestly, Martin, I mean, it's like,
Royce Keys isn't on it, so.
Well, of course, I'm sure Powerhouse Hobbs is. Of course, Royce Keys is not on it. That's his new name that WWE want to own his brand. He thought that would be a cool name to take because he thought, I've hit the jackpot now. Keys to my Rolls Royce.
That's named after his son and his mum and his mum. That's a nice little tribute.
That's very nice. If you're 5 years old,
at least he got the option to come up with his own name. I didn't. I just got that's your name. Get on with it.
But at the end of the day, is he smart? Because his name is Royce Keys, right?
Yeah.
The image that instantly comes to my mind is a wealthy man who lives in a nice mansion, drives a nice friggin' Bentley, some shit like this, got expensive clothes and everything, keys to the Rolls Royce. Did he go with that? No. He ran to the ring wearing his Powerhouse Hobb tights. Come on. Where is creative? In the toilet, apparently.
At that point, they might as well have just left him with Powerhouse Hobbs.
Yeah, exactly. So name him Royce Keys, and they ain't going to do nothing with him. Exactly. He's already been jobbed to the main event, which is basically WWF Wrestling Challenge. Not even Wrestling Challenge. The Action Zone. The Action Zone. All right?
Stevie not heat, isn't it?
No, even Stevie had a lot more heat than this guy. Stevie was over the top, man. I mean, Stevie was ahead of his time, which also leads into that special guest we're going to have in a couple of weeks. So, as I told you, Martin, students, I was contacted by a man who has a huge lineage in Hollywood. And when I say huge, I mean connected to an Oscar winner multiple times over. Very, very ingrained in the industry, loves pro wrestling. He has some insight and a half, things that you will not even believe. And as I use my serious tone that ties into some of these names that were sadly associated with the Epstein files, including Ashley and some of this other stuff coming up. So in a couple of weeks, we're going to handle that episode with kid gloves, ladies and gentlemen. So again, you want to make sure, if you haven't already, smash that subscribe button, hit the like, share with your friends and family, hype the video, because we got that coming up in a couple of weeks. That's going to be very, very interesting indeed. Where was I going with that? Gosh, I get so amped up in what we're talking about. We're talking about Royce Keys, right?
Yes, Royce Keys.
Yeah, so Royce Keys been relegated to the Action Zone, or the main event, a show that's not even on air, apparently. I don't even think it is.
It is shown. I don't know where it's shown.
I'll tell you where it's shown.
Maybe Hulu, I think. I'm not 100% sure.
Maybe Uzbekistan at midnight. Maybe that's where it airs. So, I don't know. You remember him from Ali G?
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, yes. That is my color palette there, because unlike many of these wrestlers out there right now, unlike many of these companies, I understand branding, my friend. So we do brand here. These are our colors, and they are trademarked and copywritten to us as well, just so you know. So, yeah, I saw that wisecracker come in with the comment.
Color correctly.
Well, yeah, because he's British, this guy. Yeah. This guy's British.
You, only Adam 1359. Thank you.
This guy's British, so he thinks he can take liberties with us. That's what he's thinking right now. That's why he said that comment, because he knows that we're thousands of miles away from him, right? That's why. For now. You never know where the fixer and the master may be later this year. In fact, we may actually grace the United Kingdom with our presence again, go back to the homeland for a spell. So watch out, Only Adam. You're not related to Only Adam Ant, are you? Gosh, he was in South Wales.
There we go.
Darn. Well, thank you for joining us and staying up late, because I guess it's really friggin' late out there. What time is it right now?
7, 8, 9, 10. Midnight. Nearly midnight.
Midnight. Well, wow, thank you for showing up. Someone did tell us here the main event is on YouTube.
Oh, it's on YouTube.
Weekly.
Okay.
So that's where, viewers, if you want to see Royce Keys, or I'm sure that other guy, that Javon, whoever the heck that kid's name is, I'm sure you'll find him there too on YouTube.
Didn't he sign his contract like during the commercial break? Poor guy.
Who did?
Javon.
He signed his contract during a commercial break?
They brought him up and they did like he's coming on Raw or Smack or whatever it was. It was during the commercial break. Like, poor guy. Like, that sucks.
No wonder he goes to indie events to promote himself. He knows the writing's on the wall. He's on his way out.
Hey, save every penny, mate.
You know what? I reckon he paid Kevin Nash to make that statement. He said, please, Mr. Nash, sure, make me relevant. Say something about me, please. Wouldn't put it. You know what, Martin? I wouldn't deny stuff like that. So many times you hear about guys coming out and they say something about somebody else. It wouldn't surprise me, because, money talks, and people do a lot for publicity, my man. You never know. You never know in the entertainment game. So many times you've heard stuff. Look at Tom Cruise. Look at what Tom Cruise did. The first thing he did, he went and hired a publicist after his first paycheck in Hollywood, because he knew the importance of publicity. And again, whether it's slightly negative or not, he knew that if he was constantly in the media, and look, he's one of the last Hollywood superstars remaining. There you go. So maybe Javon is kind of following in his footsteps. A man who should is that Royce Keys, if he doesn't want to just be, look, man, honestly, seriously, he's one step out already, because you know yourself, when you go from Raw or whatever, not you, but you know what I'm saying? You know that if you go from Royal Rumble, you bypass Raw and SmackDown, and you're on the main event, you're freaking done. So, I guess all I can say is, Royce, you better pick up.
Here's the thing, though. It would make sense to keep him off of TV until after WrestleMania.
You're such a nice guy, Martin. It's so nice to these guys.
Would. Why would you put him in a storyline now where the match isn't going to be on Mania? There's no point. Because
what they should have executed properly was the thing between Obi-Wan Kenobi and him at the Royal Rumble. That should have started a feud which went through Elimination Chamber and culminated at WrestleMania. The two behemoths colliding, this two powerhouses.
Yeah.
They've already blown that now. It's dead in the water.
Yeah, they've killed that, yeah.
Again, Martin, can you please tell our assistant to fax WWE, actually email them, invoice them, all the money they owe us for all these creative ideas?
All right, order.
Because, at the end of the day, we can't keep giving away for free, So, this is beyond ridiculous here. We're scripting WWE, and, we're not getting compensated for it. We will in the long term, trust me, ladies and gentlemen. But as for now, no. But, yeah, so I don't know, man. I think we've had a lot of fun today. We've had people from South Wales get in contact with us. We've talked about Royce Keys. We've talked about WrestleMania. There's so much going on, ladies and gentlemen. But if you want to watch some true sports entertainment, I suggest you go over to, what the heck is that?
You're getting rinsed.
Fox? What?
Fax.
Fax, yes.
I say no one uses a fax machine anymore, do they?
Red Fox, I'm working here, man. All right. So, hey, they want to set up LA Knight versus Brock Lesnar.
Really?
Oh my gosh, man.
Oh, that's well.
LA Knight needs to be stripped to a table now and have shock treatment to wake him back up. That guy, that poor guy, has been dragged through the coals for years. Max Dupree, come on. You know, he should have popped out when he was Eli Drake in 2019 in NWA. It's been 7 years, my man. He's running out of daylight now. He's running out of time.
He came in, so when CVID hit, I'm trying to think that was when he came in.
Man, unbelievable. So I don't know.
Again, he organically got over, and that's the worst cardinal sin you can do.
You know how he got over, though?
Yeah. I mean, he's got a good catchphrase. He always has. I've known him a long time.
But you know how he got over.
Enlighten me.
Okay. So he stole from Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yep.
And he stole from The Rock. And he basically tries to sound like The Rock or Steve Austin. And he even does the same swagger and the same sort of movements.
Yep.
That's how he got over. So again, just like Logan Paul, he went back to the well, borrowed from some. I mean, a little bit too on the nose for my liking.
It's a bit too much. Yeah, it's a bit too obvious. Too obvious. At least make it your own, and a little bit too obvious there. But at the same time, he used that was a smart. What do they say? Work. What is it? Smarter, not harder. Yeah.
There you go.
Work smart, not hard. No, I'm sorry. Work harder, not smart. No,
work smarter, not harder.
Work smarter, not harder. That's it.
Yeah, so he did that. Unfortunately for him, it has not worked to this date. And, of course, I don't know how he still comes out on WWE after they completely belittle him on Unreal.
After seeing that when Hunter just buried him, just completely took a dump on him.
Yeah.
Again, if they're smart, I think they will probably do best to take him off TV for a bit.
I think if he would do best, he'd probably seek business elsewhere at this point. He's got a Slim Jim sponsorship. He can retire. It's done. Finished. Time to hang it up. Hang up the boots. You've had your best years. You're done. You've been in the NWA. You've been in Impact. You've been in WWE.
Oh.
That's it. Finish up. Go home. The end of the day, no, I'm serious, Martin. Because at the end of the day, he's had all these years there already. Like you said, I mean, he could continue, but at the end of the day, it's not like we're telling him to go home and his dream just began. He's already had his dream. He's been doing it for over 10 years. It's done. It's finished. Save yourself the embarrassment. I mean, honestly, literally, if my Uncle Paul did that to me on Unreal, well, first of all, there'd be problems with legalities in between our family members. But at the end of the day, I'm just saying hypothetically, I'd friggin' leave the damn company. So I got my Slim Jim sponsorship. I got my name. Why the hell do I need you after that kind of bullshit? I'm out of here. Done. It's time to be a man sometimes, Martin. You and I talk about this. Mm-hmm. There have been guys that have walked away in the past. Look at The Ultimate Warrior. And I bring that up because, viewers, I want you to go and check out the Ultimate Truth podcast, all about the man Jim Hellwig, the Ultimate Warrior, the principles and the tenets that he used in his life. He was a man who understood who he was, what he wanted, and where he was going. And if it didn't align with his beliefs, I'm out the door, no matter what. That the same should be said for old Sean Riddicker or Rick Ritker, whatever the heck his real name is, LA Knight. I mean, LA Knight, I think, is again, should have just been
not the greatest of names.
No, it's not the greatest of names because it doesn't mean anything. What is he, a vampire that comes out at night from Los Angeles? I mean, no, seriously. There was a TV show called Forever Night, okay? Forever Night with a K. It was called Forever Night about a vampire who was a detective in, I don't know what city it was in. You don't remember that?
Sound good?
I've
never seen that. No.
It was short-lived. It was all right, not too bad. But it was short-lived. So when I first saw LA Knight, Well, I also thought about LA Fitness, and then weren't there some sneakers called LA Gear, right? At one time.
Oh my god, yeah, LA Gears. Yeah, I remember those.
So when I first saw this LA Knight come out, first I was thinking to myself, what the hell is he? Is he LA Knight? Is he Eli Drake? Is he Max Dupree? What the hell is this guy? Is he Sean Ritker? What is this? Who is this guy? The problem is, once you've been repackaged that many times, you're damaged goods, man.
Yeah.
You're damaged goods. You know, you come out, you're The Rock. You come out, you're Shawn Michaels. You come out, you're Triple H. You're Hulk Hogan, your Ultimate Warrior. That doesn't change. But you've changed names 4 or 5 times. It's like Royce Keys. I mean, we saw what that got him. Relegated to the main event. Didn't even get to debut on Raw. Gone. And you know what's next after that as we bring the show to a conclusion?
What's that?
Back to AEW Collision for Royce Keys.
Do you think he could go back?
Honestly, my man, like I said, I got nothing against Tony Khan personally. I've always said he's probably a good man. God bless him. He's helping people. He's paying them. Some people he shouldn't be helping who sit on the sideline.
He would take him back.
I think he would. Look at what look at the shit he took from CM Punk. CM Punk belittled Tony Khan on TV right next to him in a media scrum, and he still didn't fire him that night.
Yeah.
That was awful. He made him look like a joke, right? So anyway, I digress. But hey, I think he'll take him back in a heartbeat. Say, sure, come back into the playpen, Powerhouse. There's some milk and cookies. Enjoy. And all the supplements you want. Nonetheless. All right, students, if you already haven't hit that subscribe button, make sure that you do it right now. Make sure that you go over this week, check out some JCW action with the man himself, Vince Russo. I truly do believe one of the last great minds left in professional wrestling. If you want to be entertained the old-fashioned way with true sports entertainment, you're going to find it right there on JCW Lunacy. Just do a quick type it into your search engine on YouTube, and you'll find it there. But from the fixer himself, Martin Stone, and from myself, the Master Amir, we want to thank you all for taking a little bit of your time and sharing it with us. We will be back live on Thursday this week, same time, same channel. And look out for the pre-recorded episodes. We have Martin and I coming out and our members-only section. We hope you had a good time with us, the leaders in sports entertainment podcasts. Until the next one, God bless. Students, your time has come. I have decided that it's time to share some of my knowledge with you. That's right. Do you want to become a true, legendary professional wrestling character? Do you want to learn how to project your voice, to enunciate, to come up with the greatest promos that you possibly could? Then you need to join me each and every week for just $50. I am hosting a masterclass on Zoom. That's right. You don't have to travel. You can do it from the comfort of your own home. I will teach you how to become the greatest character you can be. I will help you discover who you truly are. I will help you with taglines, promos, etc., etc. Join me for just $50 a week in a masterclass of wrestling character development. There's a reason they call us the masters of wrestling.